Hey, you. Ever wish you could just, cut through all the noise and get right to the interesting
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah, the bits that really make you think.
Exactly. Well, that's what we do here. Welcome to The Deep Dive. We take these big, fascinating topics and kind of boil them down.
To the essential bits, the surprising parts, the stuff you'll actually remember.
Today, we're diving into something you might not expect to be quite so dramatic. Food feuds.
That's right. We've pulled together a whole load of articles about these, well, delicious debates. Sometimes they're actual legal battles over who owns, the rights to certain
It's
foods.
like culinary history meets a bit of courtroom drama, all wrapped up for you.
Our mission really is to uncover these unexpected stories behind why people argue about food. It tells you a lot about identity, history, pride even.
Yeah, expect some real aha moments,
Yeah.
some surprising facts, and don't worry, we won't drown you in jargon. Okay, let's get into our first course. A curry causing quite a stir.
And that's butter chicken. I mean, it's huge, right? A staple of Indian cuisine pretty much everywhere.
Absolutely instantly recognizable. But the origin story, yeah, it's got a twist. Takes us back to 1947. Two men, both called Kundan,
Right, they had to flee Peshawar during the partition, ended up in Delhi.
and they started a restaurant, Moti Mahal. Sounds pretty straightforward so far.
It does, but the fight starts decades later, not between them, but between their families. The descendants of Kundan Lal Gujral, they run Moti Mahal now.
Okay.
And the family of the other Kundan, Kundan Lal Jagi, they run a rival chain, Darya Ganj.
Yeah.
And both families claim their Kundan invented butter chicken.
Wow. So even a modern classic can have this contested history tied up in, like, personal stories.
Exactly. And this isn't just, a family argument, it's in court.
Seriously.
Yeah, just this year, 2024, a massive document, something like 2,752 pages, was submitted to the Delhi High Court.
Whoa, 2,700 pages about butter chicken. What on earth is in there?
You have to wonder, right? Recipes, old menus, but it shows how seriously they take it. Dariganj says Jaggi created it. Moti Mahal insists it was Gujral.
And it's still going on.
Yep. The sources said it's an active legal battle. The verdict was expected around May 2024. So maybe we even know the outcome by now.
Crazy. High-stakes curry. Okay, let's shift from one iconic curry to another. Chicken tikka masala. This one has a really surprising identity crisis.
Oh, definitely surprising. It was actually voted the national dish of the UK.
Of the UK, an Indian curry. How does that work?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Can something so linked with India be, properly British?
It feels weird, like finding out, I don't know, pizza is originally from Norway or something. So what are the stories?
There are a couple of main theories. One, quite popular one, says a Bangladeshi chef in Glasgow, Scotland invented it.
Let's go.
Yeah. The story goes, a customer complained the regular chicken tikka was maybe too dry or too spicy. So the chef improvised, added a creamy tomato sauce, kind of like customer service gone delicious.
Ah, okay, what's the other theory?
The other one puts it back in Punjab, probably within the last 50 years or so,
Hmm.
basically suggesting it's just a variation of butter chicken.
Ah, okay. So we don't actually know for sure.
Nope, it's a bit fuzzy. Despite being massively popular in Britain, the exact origin is still, up for debate. You wonder what kind of evidence people even look for in these cases. Old recipes, family stories.
That's a good point. So much food history seems to be based on stories passed down. Right, okay, let's move from curries to cheese. Feta.
Ah, feta. Love feta. That tangy, crumbly white cheese. A total cornerstone of Greek food.
And it's old, right? Like really old.
Incredibly old. Made from unpasteurized sheep or goat milk, traditionally. And yeah, its history goes back maybe 8,000 years. It's often called the world's oldest cheese type, so you can see why Greece is protective.
Makes sense. And they have legal backing too, don't they?
They do. Since 2002, the EU has recognized feta as a uniquely Greek product, a protected designation of origin, or PDO.
But Greece wasn't the only place calling its cheese feta, was it?
No, and that's where the feud comes in, with Denmark, funnily enough. For nearly 60 years, Denmark was selling this hard Danish-style cheese, but calling it feta.
60 years. Wow. So this PDO thing, this protection, it's basically like a trademark for food tied to a place.
Exactly. It stops others from sort of cashing in on the name and potentially misleading people. It really shows how much economic and cultural value is tied up in these food names.
And Greece won in the end.
Yep. Big victory. In 2022, the EU's top court ruled Denmark was breaking the law. So no more Danish feta. They had to rename it.
Justice for Greek cheese. Okay, that shows the power of these legal protections. Let's talk about something bubbly now. Champagne.
Ah, champagne. Instantly makes you think of celebrations, luxury. And the rule's simple, right?
It's only champagne if it comes from Champagne, France. End of story.
Well, yes. But keeping it that way involves a lot of legal effort. That name's been protected since way back, the Treaty of Madrid in 1891.
1891. Okay. And there's an organization that polices this.
There is a powerful one, the CIVC, that's the Interprofessional Committee of Champagne Wine. They handle something like 1,000 cases a year
1,000 every year.
in over 80 countries. It's massive.
And it's not just other sparkling wines.
Oh, no. They go after perfumes, sodas, even sweets that try to use champagne for a scent or flavor, trying to borrow that prestige, you know?
That's kind of wild.
And apparently, something like 80% of the tip-offs that they get come from actual champagne drinkers. People are really passionate about protecting it.
Talk about brand loyalty. Wow. Didn't I read something about a village in Switzerland?
Oh, yeah. There's a village in Switzerland actually called Champagne. They tried using the name for their local wine. The CIVC shut that down pretty quick. You just don't mess with the champagne name. It really shows the global muscle behind protecting these names.
Definitely. Okay, let's travel now. Middle East. Hummus and falafel. Hugely popular. But where are they actually from?
Ah, yes. Staples everywhere now. But their origins are seriously debated. Lebanon and Israel have had quite a public spat about it. Lebanon even tried to sue Israel over claiming ownership.
Like Greece did with feta. Did Lebanon try for that EU protection for hummus?
They did, yeah, for Lebanese hummus. But as far as the sources went up to 2009, they hadn't managed to prove it was uniquely Lebanese.
So where does hummus come from?
Well, historically speaking, the earliest mention we know of actually points towards Syria.
Yeah.
So its roots might be broader across the region, not just one country.
Interesting. Okay, and what about falafel? Those tasty fried balls.
Falafel. The evidence seems to point towards Egypt as the origin.
Okay.
But what's cool is how it varies. Like in Egypt, traditional falafel is made with faba beans, broad beans.
Right.
Whereas, elsewhere in the Middle East, it's usually chickpeas, or maybe a mix of chickpeas and fava beans. Little differences, but they show how food travels and changes. It's funny, I never really thought about why I get annoyed when someone makes, like, carbonara with cream until digging into this stuff.
Huh. Yeah, it does make you think about why we get attached to certain ways of making things.
Yeah.
Okay, last one for this deep dive. Let's talk baklava. Sweet, flaky, delicious, and disputed.
Oh, baklava. So good. Layers of pastry, nuts, syrup. It's amazing. But pinning down where it started, tough one. Several countries lay claim.
It's like a historical food fight. Greece is in the mix again.
Yep. They point to an ancient thing called placenta cake. Sounds appealing, I know.
Placenta cake.
Mentioned in Homer's Odyssey, way back like 800 BC, described as thin, sweet bread with walnuts and honey. Sounds kind of like a prototype, maybe?
Could be. Who else is claiming it?
Well, there's a theory it evolved from a medieval Arabic pastry, lasinage, and also a Turkish dish called gulas.
Okay, so multiple possibilities. What about the name baklava?
That's interesting. The word itself seems to come from Turkish. That's true in English and Arabic, apparently.
So maybe a linguistic clue pointing towards Turkey. But still no definite inventor.
Seems not. No clear consensus. But what is clear is how widespread it is now. North Africa, Middle East, Greece, Central Asia, the Balkans. Everyone loves baklava.
And they make it differently.
Right. Oh, yeah. Lots of regional twists. Greek baklava, often 33 layers of phyllo, maybe, for the years of Christ's life. Usually walnuts, cinnamon, honey.
Okay.
Armenian baklava has this special syrup, the cloves, cinnamon, lemon. And Turkish baklava often uses pistachios. In fact, the city of Gaziantep in Turkey actually has EU protection for its specific type of pistachio baklava.
Wow. Another protected food. So it gets adopted, adapted, becomes its own thing everywhere.
Exactly. It's a great example of that.
So looking back at all these, butter chicken lawsuits, feta fights, champagne police, what's the big takeaway?
Well, I think it shows these food feuds are way more than just arguments over recipes, They're about culture, history, national identity.
And how globalization affects traditional foods.
Definitely. It's about who gets to own the story, who gets the credit, and sometimes who gets the economic benefit.
It's pretty eye-opening, actually. Who knew a simple dish could have so much baggage, so much legal drama behind it?
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? And maybe think about your own favorite foods. Have you ever stopped to think where they really came from? What their story is? Maybe their origins are more complex, more contested than you ever realized. It's definitely something to chew on next time you're eating.